Hey y'all, I am here to do a review on a palette that came out, I think, just a few months ago, maybe now. The Naked Urban Decay Robin Eisenberg collab palette. And what the hell with the Naked name? I don't know. It's there's nothing naked about it anymore, but I don't give a shit. I guess it doesn't really matter. That's futile. I don't know why people are getting upset about it. I don't know why I'm getting upset about it. Who cares? Call it Joe Schmo's palette. It doesn't really matter. As long as it works, it's functional, what have you. However, this apparently was a collab with a LA-based artist, I think, Robin Eisenberg. That's her artwork on the front, and the unicarton matched. I don't know anything about that artist, unless they've been dead for about 100 years. I don't know anything about any artists, to be frank with you. You know, if you're a fan of hers, I can see why this would be something you'd be really interested in. Other than that, you know, the real draw to this palette, I think for most people, was that it was different for Urban Decay, because they've been doing the same thing forever, it seems like. You know, naked this, naked that, same color schemes, you know, 57 different shades of boredom. But this one seemed to have pops of color. So, you know, if you cover these up, it's every other Urban Decay palette in the history of Urban Decay palettes, pretty much. But when you add those pops in, it made like a difference. It's kind of a different palette, and it kind of was reminiscent of, if anybody's remembering way back to the Beached palette that Urban Decay had, it had like the warm tones, and then it had a couple blue shades in it. And that palette was one of my favorite palettes at that time, and especially one of my favorite Urban Decay palettes ever. But I don't think this palette is on par with that quality. And I think that's been a problem with Urban Decay for quite a while now. It's something that I consistently hear. It's something that I've seen myself in my limited experience with Urban Decay, because I pretty much quit buying after the Naked Heat palette. I love warm tones, so that one sucked me in, but for the most part, I kind of quit buying after that. But essentially, everyone I hear that is, you know, a real Urban Decay diehard has even admitted, you know, that they are really hit or miss with their quality. You may get a palette that is absolutely, you know, on par with their original old school formula, and then you may get one that's just really just crap. And I don't know what they've been putting out lately, but this palette to me is not a very good palette, quality wise. It's neat. It's different for them, as of late anyway. You know, from a brand that started out because they were different and then became so plain Jane, in my opinion. But realistically, in looking at this palette, you know, the blues are not opaque. They almost seem like a topper for the most part. You can wet them and make them a little bit more opaque, but when you do that, I find that they almost all translate to be almost the same on your eye. So you kind of have three shades that look almost the same. Now this chalky blue looking one, it is different, but it's so like light and pale and chalky feeling that when you blend it, you're either blending it away, or if you're trying to blend it and fade it into another color, it just muddies for me. Now, again, I'm not great at makeup anyway. This is not a thing that I love makeup. I'm a makeup lover. I'm not a makeup professional. So maybe I'm just not getting the full potential out of this palette. If that's the case, please let me know down below what I'm doing wrong, or how to use this in a better, more appropriate manner to get its full potential, because I'm just not seeing it. You know, I've tried it and I just don't feel like, you know, the best colors in here are those warm tones in the middle. And I have those colors 1,000 times over in 1,000 other palettes done 1,000 times better quality wise. So why reach for this? The reason to reach for this would be because it includes those warm tones with a pop of blue or that with it, and you can have it all in one. But I can do that with my Natasha Denona Gold palette, and realistically, I'll have good quality. So I'm not really sure. I mean, granted, that's a higher price point, but the price point on this was not great. I didn't pay the full price for this. I would never pay the full price for this. I cannot imagine someone paying the full price for this. I think it was $54. I got it when it was on a half price sale, and I think I even had like points off of that at Sephora to use or something. So, you know, I didn't even pay 50%, I don't think. But there's no way. $54 is ridiculous. I mean, to be honest with you, the only people I can see that would need this palette, want this palette, frankly, would be collectors of either Urban Decay, Robin Eisenberg, or just makeup in general. Which, you know, I would say I fall into the latter on that. I just love to collect makeup of all kinds. And because I hadn't had any Urban Decay in a long time, I thought, well, this would be a neat one to add to my collection. That's really why I have it. Or somebody who's reviewing it because they make money off of a channel or something, and it's been, you know, they have requests for it, or it's been sent to them, or, you know, that's about it. That's about the only people I can see who would really spend full price for a palette like this, because there are just so many better options out there. The Beached palette was a much better quality option for a fraction of the price. You didn't get the brush, you didn't get the packaging, you didn't get the artwork. You know, it was a paper packaging, but, you know, I don't care. You know, for me, it's like the brush is pretty nice, but, you know, I mean, it's a fairly nice brush. It works well, but, you know, most people who have makeup have brushes they prefer, or, you know, that they're partial to anyway. So it's not a make or break on that. It is a nice case, and if you're into the artwork, of course, that's probably the main selling point. But other than that, I just, you know, I can swatch these for you. I can try to swatch these for you, rather, because I am a notoriously poor swatcher, but I'm going to try to swatch these for you. And I have, I mean, I have made passes on these, like, hardcore. And hopefully you can see that. I mean, they're just kind of dark and dingy, and I think you can kind of see how they would kind of all just muddy together if you were trying to blend them into something or put them in with other colors. I just don't feel like they're standalone type shades. And then as far as, you know, their staying power, that's how quickly I wipe that off with a dry, you know, item. So, I mean, that's not boding really well, especially I just hydrated my skin out of the shower. So you would think, you know, you got a nice semi-primed canvas here. I'll go ahead and do the middle shades, which I think are arguably the better of the shades, you know, but again, nothing unique here, nothing exciting here, nothing that's not been done 1,008 times over. I mean, they're pigmented pretty well. Those are, in my opinion, the best of the shades. But again, not anything that I think you would want to write home about. Nothing that I would be over the top to say, oh, you know, that's great. And certainly not the reason to buy this palette, because most people purchase this palette solely because of that pop of color making it different than the other Naked palettes. And if the pop of color at the end is gone, you know, what's the point? And then the last 4 colors are just plain old neutrals that really, I mean, you may not even be able to see these on my skin tone because they're so light and I'm so pale. I mean, they're really just, if you can even see those. So, and again, like, you know, I'm just taking a Bounty and I'm wiping these off. This is just a dry Bounty paper towel. So they're not even giving me any trouble to like wipe right off. I mean, that's not to say that they wouldn't stay if you set them down or primed appropriately or put setting powder on, but I think the long and the short of this here for me is that there's nothing super unique about this palette other than the artwork. It looks unique at first glance for Urban Decay because you see the pops of color. But when you use them, they don't translate on the eye to anything spectacular, anything exciting. Nothing that you couldn't find in a ColourPop palette for a fraction of the cost on sale, probably for $9 or something. I mean, come on, 1,000 times over. Nothing that if I took my Natasha Denona palettes and I popped them out, which I do frequently, and swap the colors around, I could get these colors out of my Sunset palette. Sunset, yeah, that's the big one, right? Sunset, Sunrise, I have them both. The gold palette, and then you have the blues in there. I could get out of some of the palettes and I could make that, you know, if you're a person who's a makeup collector, even, you know, if you're a person who's not a makeup collector and you just want one palette that has a whole lot of options, I mean, and you're looking at this going, oh, look at that, you can have a pop of color and all this and that. I mean, there's so many other palettes that are better, like the Huda Mercury Retrograde palette I mentioned before. You have the color option in there, but you also have the neutral tones, and the quality is 1,000 times better. And I think you're gonna get a lot more use, a lot more option. I think you get more product, at least more variety of products too, and not much more money for it. So, and the quality is exponentially better. It's just, there's a million palettes out there that are better suited for whatever your needs were that you were trying to fill with this for a fraction of the price, or a million times better quality. Unless, again, you are somebody who's got a request to review it and you get paid to do that. You have an obsession with just collecting Urban Decay memorabilia, or you're in love with this artwork or this specific person's artwork, what have you. So other than that, I would say don't waste your money. Save that cash, put it towards something better in the makeup industry. You will be better served elsewhere 1,000 times over, because this is nobody's jam. I hate to say that because I sound so Debbie Downer, and I freaking hate to be Debbie Downer, but like legit, come on, honestly, Urban Decay, you could have done so much better. But anyway, hate to leave you on that note, but so anyways, I will leave you with that, and let me know if there's anything else you want to see a review on, any comments down below. And again, like I said, if I'm not using this in the right way and you're like, that palette is the freaking jam, I make it work so awesome, my looks are the bomb.com, tell me how, because I will try. Again, I'm not a makeup person, so maybe, I mean, other than loving it, maybe I just suck at using this thing. And I would fully embrace that. Also, one other thing I wanted to say was, along with makeup products on this channel, I want to review other things. So I was thinking about reviewing my Bartesian, if any of you know what that is. It is a alcohol dispenser machine thing where you put your capsules in, and you buy different flavors of capsules for different drink mixes, and then you it premixes your drinks, all that good stuff. Anyway, if you want to see a review on that, let me know, please, because people keep asking me about my Bartesian and if I like it. And I've had the thing for years now, and every time I mention it, because I'm so used to having it, I'm like, oh, I've got to get that for the Bartesian, or that to mix with my Bartesian drinks or whatever. People are like, what? Tell me about it. Tell me more about it. So if you're interested in that, I would love to do a review on that for you. If you have any interest, let you know. you know, what options are available flavor-wise, cost, price, any of that. If you want to know all that stuff, I can definitely do a review. I can show you it in action. I can make some drinks and I'll drink them for you. I will take that hit for the team because that's the kind of YouTuber I am, or that I long to be. So anyways, hope you have a great day. Peace and love and enjoy. Thanks.